I need to get into who this agent is. Erin Kane. Now, I want to play some clips. Erin Kane. Now, again, she's coming under a lot of fire as someone who's not competent enough to handle this position. I want to play the clips first, and then we're going to come back. I want to speak about what I saw. Okay. All right. So I'm going to play this first clip. In this first clip, I want to get into her career, what her background is, so that we understand who she is and where she came from. So this is her talking about her background.
But for me, I went in a completely different direction. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. I did not want anybody's help. I wanted to prove myself. So I studied not sports, but the arts. I was an art history major. I have a master's in post-war and contemporary art. I worked as a curator in a museum after grad school. And wow. So totally different. And then like life happened and I found myself in the office of the company that my dad was working at the time. I needed like a quiet place to send out resumes. I had 2 kids at the time at home, little ones. And the baseball division at that company really was in a pinch to hire somebody as a client service manager, and I needed a job, so I took the job. I had come from this very like thoughtful, academic, like actually very diverse environment. And that office, it's not all of sports and not representative of all of sports, but that office was very much like men in offices around the perimeter of the building. And then like all the women were in support roles. And there was something about that that just really like hooked me because I wanted to be the first woman at that company in an executive position. And it took me a couple years to figure out like what the path could be, because at that stage too, it wasn't like a secret. Like I would say like, how do I become an agent? And they'd be like, you can't be an agent. You're a woman and you have kids. I mean, like those are the words that were said to me.
All right. So we're talking about Caitlin Clark's agent. All right. The one who brokered this deal with Nike. And we're talking about how bad this was and the fact that she's getting a lot of heat, all right, because of this deal. Now, I want to talk about her and what I saw in her video. All right, first of all, you know, she talks about her background and how she really was in art and whatever that was with art that she was doing. And she happened into her father's company because she wanted to send out her resume. She needed a quiet place to send her resume out. So she found a room and she's in there and she's trying to send her resume out, and they bust in the room. Hey, we need somebody. You, we need you. What you doing? You do it. Come on. We need you to be an agent for these people because we need somebody. You a dude, come on. But I don't know how to do. No, it doesn't matter. We'll teach you. Just come on, let's go. So next thing you know, she's thrust into this role as an agent where she's dealing with these men and she's clearly not comfortable. All right, listen, just if you even look at her demeanor and listen to her voice, she's clearly like this. Listen, I'm going to say this. Men are going to give women a hard time. They are. But when you stand, and I mean stand, like you have confidence and you know what you're doing, they don't have any choice but to give you the respect. WNBA was getting all kind of disrespect until Clark came along. Why? Because she plays. She does. I told y'all, it's not everybody want to make this out. Oh, you got to have some sexy lingerie on. And unless you don't, then the men don't want to hear from you. Or oh, you got to be able to do manly things, and then they listen. But here you got Clark. She just is phenomenal, and she's highly intelligent. She's confident. She gets on the basketball court. You don't want to be in front of her when she's got the basketball. She's confident. She does her job. But here you got this woman, and I'm just going to be honest with you. She doesn't exude confidence. Even everything she says kind of flip-floppy, you know. Well, you know, okay. Her whole demeanor gives me Christy Sides, Kathy Engelbert. That's the energy I'm getting from her. Not to mention, when you talk about one of your star people, let me go into this. Some of the people who are her clients. And mind you, she's got this job because of her dad. That's why she's got the job. Hold on. And that's okay. I told y'all I'm okay with nepotism. Doesn't bother me. But if you're in that position, do it well. Otherwise, we got some problems. Okay, let's take a look at this now. I want to go into some of her clients. All right. Some of her clients includes Ari Chambers, Nafisa Collier, Zia Cook, who is University of South Carolina women's basketball, but I love Arike Ogumawale, and we know she's an all-star 2020 WNBA scoring champion. Annie Park, LPGA Tour. Christy Tolliver, WNBA all-star, second WNBA champion. There's more because they didn't talk about all of her. Let me see. Excel already expressed a number of women across the multiple talent representation areas. The agency's women's golf division announced 2020 features stars like Michelle Wie West and Albany Valenzuela. All right. Media talent clients include Holly Rowe, Lisa Byington. All right. The first woman to become a play-by-play announcer for a men's professional sports team. The agency manages the marketing portfolio for Peloton instructor Jess Sims, UConn women's basketball players Christine Williams and Caroline Ducharme. Overall, Excel's talent division is a dominant force across the multiple sport, including basketball, baseball, golf, football, with a roster that features rising stars, MVPs, all-stars, Hall of Famers. Okay, so you've got this situation where she's got all of these people on the roster. Now, is she qualified to really do this job? And I'm saying to you, and this is why she's getting the heat, that it doesn't look like it. Just the way, the energy that she exudes. It doesn't say, hey, I'm confident I'm going to come in here and negotiate this deal. This $28 million deal over 8 years is really, it doesn't look good. Not on her. It doesn't look good because that is cheap for what Caitlin Clark is bringing. And I know a lot of people saying, well, who knew? Who knew she was going to be that big? Even if you didn't know she was going to be that big. Here's the issue with it. You don't do it for 8 years. All of her prime. 8 years. Then you have some kind of clause in there the same way whoever is doing the negotiations for the WNBA where they put a clause in there saying, hey, after this many years, we need to be able to renegotiate just in case. This is what people are talking about. This is why it's important to have somebody who has some kind of charisma when you're doing business with these companies. I need to make sure that if she does blow up, that we can renegotiate the same way the WNBA did with that media rights deal. They put a clause in there that if this thing blows up bigger than this, we need to renegotiate this. Okay, that's why it's an issue. So now the whole thought and notion is, oh, Clark is stuck in this deal. Well, we're going to talk about that because she's really not. And it wouldn't be a situation. First of all, she can rescind that contract. But you got somebody like me on the team. We don't have to rescind that. We know how to get around that. We know what to do. As a matter of fact, if I'm in there negotiating any kind of deal, it's going to be a situation whereby Clark can, Nike, keep that deal. That's fine. 28 million, that's fine. We're going to do something different. You can keep that deal, Nike, because I understand what this game is. See, I need to say this too, because all of those players that I named, the vast majority of those players on the roster, they're under Nike. That company that she works for, her dad's company, they're all under Nike. And that's part of the issue. They are tied to Nike. And once again, this is a company, and this woman is allowing Nike to disrespect her client's brand. And this is the issue. You cannot trust people who have been in the game for too long, because they're in bed with certain people and they're not going to make moves on your behalf. If somebody's in bed with Nike, well, Nike has been providing a lot of money to that company. You're not going to tell Nike that you're going to take this client and go with another brand without Nike giving you some pushback about it. Without Nike saying, well, we'll just rip all of the contracts from your clients. You can't trust people who've been in the game for too long, because then they're going to allow you to be devoured and taken advantage of. And that's exactly what's happening. And so I say to you, when you ask about, is this woman qualified? It's not even necessarily that she's qualified. I say no, just listen, I'm going to say this. Before I even saw her interview, I wasn't a fan. Before I saw her interview, I wasn't a fan. Because of all of the things that she has allowed to happen to Clark and the mistreatment that she has allowed on her client, I wasn't a fan. But then when I see her and I see her presentation, I see her energy, once again, a Christie-sized Kathy Engelbert type of energy. An energy whereby all of her other clients are with this Nike company. This tells me that she's in their pocket, and that if they decide to pull out, her company's going to have some issues financially. So it's to her company's advantage to be in bed with Nike, as opposed to getting Caitlin Clark a true deal. So I need this to be made clear, because I need to go back into this more about the issues I have with this woman who is the agent of Caitlin Clark. Her name, Kane.